Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. What we have learned in the last session? Yes. What we have learned in the last session? Yes. Online, offline. What we have learned in the last session? Did we learn something? कुछ पढ़ा है कि नहीं पढ़ा है हम लोगों ने? You are not there, ma'am. I'm not there. Online, na? Then acceptance testing and system testing and from girls side. हाँ 4 शिकवले करेक्ट आहे बट कोणते शिकवले
Integration system.
integration yes and unit testing fine. I'll give you a quick recap and today we're going to wind up this chapter. So first what the aim behind testing, what exactly testing means and what is the reason why we are doing testing, that we have discussed in this slide. Different methods were there. We are going to categorize the testing part in two aspects. One is functional one and second is non-functional one. In the functional part, we have 4 types that we have gone through with: unit testing, integration testing, system testing, and acceptance testing. Right? So what exactly functional part that means? Okay. So in functional testing, the main aspective is to check whether your software is platform independent or not, which kind of environment it be a specific or not, that we are going to focus more on. We are going to focus, it should be execute on different platforms. There should not be like platform dependency. The system should be having. And to check every piece of software मतलब छोटा सा भी program है, so that we are going to check. So before we assemble all the things together, we are going to do a testing that we call as integration testing. Then we are having the system testing, the whole and soul system after integration, that we are going to test. And at last, what are the changes that to be done from the user's end, that we are going to test in accessibility testing, right? Acceptance testing. Then in non-functional, we have already discussed the non-functional is already been on top of the functional one, like performance, security, usability, and compatibility, that we are going to check in non-functional part. The major aspect is we are going to adopt some end user aspects, like whether it is secure or not, whether it is portable or not, whether it is having that capability to deliver to the customer, and whether the customer is satisfied or not. That things were there, which are add-ons, and we have discussed in detail. In detail in the sense, we have discussed a lot about unit testing. Unit testing is been done by the programmer himself. Whenever you design a piece of code for a specific task given by the designing team to you, so that piece of code before integration, we are going to test it, right? That we called as unit testing. That will be done by the programmer's end, right? Then there are some tools even. Why to test? The reason is to debug small part of code priorly. आपका small part of code आपको अगर कोई error देता है तो उसको ढूंढना भी easy हो जाता है. Otherwise it will be difficult. So that's the reason why we have unit testing. And test left is a tool that we use for unit testing. Then integration testing, whenever there have been different machines which are been or different team members were working on different units, we are going to collaborate all these things. We are going to embed सारी चीजें एक जगह पे बनाते हैं उसको, उसके बाद हम लोग उसको टेस्ट करते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं इंटीग्रेशन टेस्टिंग. Why we are doing integration testing? The reason is, if someone is using something different path that relate to some machine, and once it integrates, it should point to some other pointers, other paths, other files that to be done, that to be checked appropriately. For that part, we are going to do the integration testing. Then we were being discuss about the system testing. System testing is also called as what kind of testing? Black box testing, right? So the black box testing and system testing is the same term. So what exactly we are doing? We are, after integrating all the things together, we are going to test, and we are going to test it by end to end. And from first to end, we are going to test it. That we call as system testing, and we are going to push it for the production. That means the further things that to be embedded into it, that to be designed. Start designing. Afterwards, we have acceptance testing. We have discussed about acceptance testing as well. It is majorly a QA aspect, quality and assurance aspect. In मेजर थिंग जो है यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि आपका क्वालिटी और एश्योरेंस का जो टीम होता है, क्वालिटी एंड एश्योरेंस थिंग मींस एवरीवेयर इन सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री. उसका रीजन ये होता है कि आप क्या प्रोडक्ट डिलीवर कर रहे हो और क्या एग्जैक्टली यूजर के रिक्वायरमेंट है, उससे वो मैच होना चाहिए. तो वो चेक करने का काम यहाँ पे एक्सेप्टेंस टेस्टिंग में होता है, जहाँ पे हम लोग डिलीवरी से पहले सारी चीजें चेक करते हैं. यूजर के एंड से अगर कुछ चेंजेस करना चाहे हम लोग तो वो सारे करते हैं. इसको बीटा टेस्टिंग भी बोला जाता है. बीटा टेस्टिंग क्योंकि एंड यूजर्स उसको टेस्ट करता है. जैसे मैंने डेट ऑफ बर्थ का एग्जांपल दिया था आप लोगों को, राइट? यू रिमेंबर द एग्जांपल? व्हाट इज द एग्जांपल? मागे earlier days we're going to put forward slash or hyphen.
फाइलों का डॉट आता है.
हाँ, right, correct. Good. So that we did in acceptance testing. Now we are moving towards the performance testing that has been a part of non-functional one, right? So just read it out carefully. From online you can read by your own. From offline, someone going to read. Who's going to read? You are going to read. Loudly. No. Sit.
Performance testing is a non-functional testing. The goal is to test its performance testing can be four types. Includes load testing and stress testing. Load testing is the process putting in amount of sample data given on your software application or website. Verify whether or not it can handle what it's designed to handle. So, stress testing takes this a step further and is used to watch how your software will respond at or beyond its peak load. The goal of stress testing is to overload the application on purpose until it breaks by applying both realistic and unrealistic load scenarios. With stress testing, you will be able to find the failure point of your piece of software.
Good, thank you. Two more are there, we're going to see in the next slide. But first, we're going to understand what exactly the performance testing. Once your software is designed, it is ready to dispatch. But prior to that, we are going to check the performance of it before we deliver any product. Do you remember or have you ever heard that before designing the or before manufacturing exact model of a car, there will be a sample model design, and that to be tested in different ways. There have been different tracks, different scenarios are been put over there. They are been dropped down from top of the hills. They're going to check the performance of it, even though it's tire, even though a single seat of a car. Similar to that, as we did in the manufacturing industry, similar to that, as for the software industry also, there is a performance testing. Performance testing means what? If your software is designed as per the requirement, but some downfalls are there, loopholes are there, we can say, and that can be found with the help of performance testing. Example, जब भी लास्ट डे होता है कोई भी फॉर्म भरने का, कोई भी वेबसाइट के ऊपर, लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ योर एसपीपीओ एग्जामिनेशंस या फिर आपके कोई एमपीएससी यूपीएससी के एग्जाम्स लेते हैं. व्हेन देयर विल बी अ लास्ट डे, देयर इज अ हेवी ट्रैफिक मतलब number of users accessing the same URL, that we called as heavy traffic. Air traffic, yes. So number of people were using the same URL, they were trying to access the same server, and somehow if the performance testing is not there, what will happen? The server will crash. It has never been responding to any request. Do you understand request and response scenario? Server is going to respond to every client who is requesting for the page. तो अगर बहुत ज्यादा heavy traffic हो जाता है, it will be overloaded and it has never been responding to any of the user. So that how you are going to test that, because in the 4 types that we have saw, we have only tested the software is working as per the requirement or not. That we were checking in the functional part. But in the non-functional part, we have to test about the performance. We have to check as per the real-time scenarios that we were being having. Whenever we develop a software and we deliver it to the customer, there could be a chances that the customer can n number of time he can use that software. अभी कुछ ऐसा होता है कि अभी कोई एक सॉफ्टवेयर आपने इंस्टॉल किया, उसको बहुत टाइम तक आप यूज करते हो, उसको बहुत ज्यादा, उसको ओपन क्लोज, so sometimes it has been crashed, or sometimes it is not responding, it is taking lots of time to start open, it happens. So the reason is the load, the stress that has been given to the software has not been handled appropriately. So to avoid that, we have to put extra load to check the performance of the system. What is the topmost load that he can handle? So according to that, if we found that software is not responding to the heavy loads, we have to make changes accordingly. Right? So that kind of testing is called as performance testing. There have been 4 parts into it again. So one of the part is load testing. Forcefully, we are going to put various datas and we force that system to put extra load to perform it, right? Even the performance testing is done at the time of processor designing. You understand processor? What is processor? Can you name any processor? Intel Core. What is mean by core now? Dual core, i5, i6, i7, Pentium. So why, what are the versions? Why they have been coming with different versions? Have you ever thought about it? Due to the performance testing, they were working perfectly and finely. But nowadays, we are being using a fast speed network, and at the same time, we want all the things should be done on a click of a button. We don't want it to wait. We don't even want it to wait for a while, right? And processor is having n number of tasks. He is going to categorize his working into different parts. So the core means what? There are been different processors are been combinedly working, that we call 2 processor combined dual core. Pentium, i5, i6, i7. What exactly it means? There are been processors are combined together, right? And they are being distributed their loads so that they can handle n number of performances, right? So here we are going to put a heavy load on the software to check out the maximum load he could handle. That is the test that has been done under the title performance testing, right? Then we are having stress testing. As he read it out the things, we are going to further, this is the 1 step ahead process. Load testing के बाद में further आपने लोड दे दिया है, उसके बाद भी वो काम कर रहा है, तो on top of that, up to what level it work, what is its breakdown time, वो कब खत्म होता है, वो चेक करने का काम अपन सेकंड टेस्ट में करते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं स्ट्रेस टेस्ट. We are going to put a heavy pressure and we are going to check how much of pressure it could handle, and when it broke down we are going to see that failure point we called it. जहाँ पे breakdown होता है उसको बोलते हैं failure point. Failure point का क्या पॉइंट है, किस पीक पे वो फेल हो जाता है, वो चेक करने का काम हम लोग यहाँ पे करते हैं, राइट? Is that clear? Is there any doubt in these two? I don't think so. It is too easy. Yes? Okay. Who is going to read? Now girls side. Someone will read from the girls side. Will read? Why? You don't know how to read? Read it. Those who are attending online, they can read also. And those who are attending physical, they can stand and read. Or even by sitting, you can read it loudly. हाँ. सिमुलेटेड लोड, longer amount. एकच मिनिट हा. आता बघ कळते का? ऐकायला वाजतीये. Substantially good, very good. गुड, फाईन. तोपर्यंत बोलून घेतलं ना तुम्ही, वाचलं नसणार नाही का? वाचलं का? तिने वाचलं ना? ठीक आहे. The performance further steps, when you understand what exactly the breakdown or failure point is, we were having one more step ahead in the same cycle. The cycle is same. पहले आपने लोड दिया, फिर आपने चेक किया कब तक वो हैंडल करता है स्ट्रेस में, हैंडल करने के बाद में वो फेलियर जाता है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज एंड्योरेंस टेस्टिंग. What exactly it happened? It used to analyze the behavior of application under a specific amount of simulated load. अगर आपने कोई स्पेसिफिक अमाउंट ऑफ लोड उसको दिया है तो वो चेक करता है, वो एनालाइज करता है कि वो कैसे उस लोड को हैंडल कर रहा है. अगर कोई लोड सडनली उसको आ जाता है, फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे कि आपका कोई सॉफ्टवेयर है वो आप बहुत टाइम से यूज नहीं कर रहे हो, बट सडनली ऑन सडन बेसिस अगर आपको जैसे एग्जांपल के तौर पे दिया जाए, कोविन का ऐप एग्जांपल के लिए लेते हैं सिर्फ और सिर्फ, तो जब वो ऐप इनिशियली डिजाइन हुआ, नो वन इज यूजिंग इट, नो वन, but slowly it has been compulsory for every human being to download it, install it on different operating systems, Android, iOS and all, right? So जब भी ऐसा कोई सिनेरियो आ जाता है कि n number of people were using that same application at a time to book a vaccination, so what exactly the failure point, what are the downfalls, that to be analyzed first, and that we are going to analyze here in the performance testing. And the speed testing is also same process. Again the load, जितना लोड आता है उसके बाद उसको टेस्ट करते हैं हम लोग, डिटरमाइन करते हैं कि सॉफ्टवेयर कब रिस्पॉन्ड करना बंद करेगा, that we are going to test it, and what amount of time it is going to be continue to stop the process of working, कब तक वो कर सकता है उसको देखते हैं हम लोग. एंड वी आर गोइंग टू सडनली लोड अगर किसी सॉफ्टवेयर पे आता है तो वो कैसे क्रैश हो जाता है या फिर कैसे उस चीज को हैंडल करते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे आप लोगों को सारे टीचर्स ने एक ही दिन असाइनमेंट दे दिया, तो कुछ स्मार्ट लोग होते हैं वो क्या करते हैं, सारे का आधा 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 लिखते हैं, मतलब इसमें से थोड़ा कट, उसमें से थोड़ा कट, उसमें से थोड़ा कट करके कंप्लीट करते हैं. कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं सिंसियर स्टूडेंट्स, they only focus on one assignment and they complete one only perfectly. ना उनको गिवासु दिया था. So it happens, like a software's life cycle is designed in a manner that if sudden load is there, so how it work ideally, वो कैसे काम करता है, that it is going to be focused. And if sudden load is there, तो उसको एक टास्क परफॉर्म करने के बाद दूसरा टास्क, तीसरा टास्क ऐसे करता है, या फिर सबको थोड़ा थोड़ा टाइम अलॉट करके वो काम करता है. वो कब तक काम करता है, जब तक वो फेलियर नहीं हो जाता है तब तक. तो वो सारा चेकिंग यहाँ पे होता है. फिर उसके बाद आता है आपका सिक्योरिटी टेस्टिंग. जैसे सिक्योरिटी टेस्टिंग इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है, बट इट इज अगेन टॉप ऑफ योर सेकेंड पार्ट. अगर आपका सिस्टम डिजाइन हो जाता है, उसका परफॉर्मेंस टेस्टिंग हो जाता है, उसके बाद सिक्योरिटी एस्पेक्ट आता है. तो इसी के लिए ये नॉन फंक्शनल में प्रेजेंट है. सिक्योरिटी टेस्टिंग इटसेल्फ गिव्स यू अ बेनिफिट idea what exactly it means. Whenever we are designing any system, we have to think about the security. Why we should think about the security? If it using your credentials, some credentials which should not be shared with other applications, but still we need to check out all these things, and that has been done in the security testing. पढ़िएगा. कौन पढ़ेगा अभी? अभी इसका तो नंबर हो गया. आप पढ़ोगे लास्ट बात, जोरानी बात.
Result in unauthorized access to or the use of information to prohibit the application for business. There are multiple types of displacing methods, each of which aim at verifying 6 basic principles of security.
That we are going to see in the later slide. As every software has to be in a secured way to avoid different other people's or hackers, we can even say. तो हमारा सिस्टम कितना सिक्योर है वो टेस्ट करने का काम हम लोग सिक्योरिटी टेस्टिंग में करते हैं. जैसे कि एग्जांपल अगर दे कोई भी ऑनलाइन वेबसाइट जहाँ पे आप फाइनेंशियल ट्रांजैक्शंस करते हो, तो वहाँ पे आपको एक वन टाइम पासवर्ड दिया जाता है. ऐसा क्यों किया जाता है? ओटीपी बोलते हैं उसको. क्यों ऐसा क्यों किया जाता है? सिक्योरिटी के लिए. मगर फिर भी व्हाट इज द रीजन? यस, वन टाइम यूज होता है, वो भी एक है. अगर वो हैक भी हो गया सिस्टम, तो वो डेटाबेस में प्रेजेंट नहीं होता है. एंड अ टाइम स्लॉट इज गिवन for the validation only 30 seconds were there, and no one can hack it within the 30 seconds if they don't have the right credential. So this is the topmost thing to check it out, but hackers were there. And before we deliver any software, we do the penetration testing. Penetration testing, you know what exactly mean by penetration testing? You heard that. Okay. Penetration testing, when the hacker unauthorizedly hack all these things, what exactly he knows the loopholes present in the system. क्या क्या loopholes present है system में, वो hacker find कर लेता है. वैसे ही दो few peoples were there who are hackers but ऑथेंटिकेट हैकर्स है, जो क्या करते हैं वो पहले ही चेक करते हैं सारे लूपहोल्स उनके एंड से. उनको पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टर्स बोलते हैं. एवरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, दोज हु आर हैविंग सॉफ्टवेयर बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट, they were having a separate team after testing that we called as penetration testing. जो hackers करते हैं वो लोग भी वही करते हैं, सेम चीज, बट with permission, and that is without permission. Hacker and penetration testers, these are the same aspects, but for good and for bad. So whenever we deliver any software, we have to think about the security aspect, because it is going to take your credentials and that could affect or it harms to your database. इवन अगर कोई फाइनेंशियल बात भी छोड़ दे, सीधा एसपीपीयू का अगर अब लोग बात करें, आपका मार्किंग जो होता है, मार्किंग स्कीम, आपको एक यूजर नेम लॉगिन दिया जाता है, आप एग्जाम देते हो और उसके बाद वो डेटाबेस में वो मेंटेन होता है. somehow if someone hacks the database of SPPU, the student who get less mark will get good marks. Those who are getting failed, they are going to pass, and those who are getting passed, they are going to fail. So the data is very important aspect. So all the data that produced daily, that we are going to store in a manner that there should not be any loophole that a hacker or a person who don't have authority to access it, he should not access that, to be tested over here, that we called as system testing, security testing, sorry. Correct? Got it the point? Easy hai, bahut easy hai. These are the 4 aspects. These are the 6 principles of security, and these are the principles. Just read. How many of you are aware about these terms? Good. Sincere बंदा है, मुझे पता है आप प्रैक्टिकल में थे मेरे फर्स्ट ईयर में. He do have lots of questions to ask. I saw him, but I know him. I saw his face. हाँ, आपको पता है ये सारे टर्म्स पता है या नहीं पता है? नहीं, वेरी गुड. I like that because I'm going to answer it ना. अगर आपको नहीं पता है तो I'm sitting over here to answer. अगर पता है तो I'm going to go on the next slide. If you don't, so I am going to explain it. किसी को पता है? आपको पता है ना? हाँ. जितना पता है उतना बोलो, उसके आगे मैं बोलती हूँ.
Integrity stands wherein we have to measure whether the data loss should not be there. That is where integrity comes. And confidentiality is wherein privacy should be maintained. And authentication is where the users should be authenticated. So authorized members should be accessible to the website or application. And only means the authorization is only given to the persons of the company who are eligible or accessible to their software or database. Availability, I don't have any idea, and non-repudiation. Wherever a user requests to a company or an application on their website, the user cannot claim that he has requested that I have requested something.
म्हणजे ट्रान्झॅक्शन केले पण ते समोरचा डिक्लेअर नाही करू शकतो की तू ट्रान्झॅक्शन नाही केलं.
Whether the user cannot claim that I have done this.
Okay. Closer. Integrity everyone knows. First, before we going to these pillars of हम सिक्योरिटी क्यों मेंटेन करते हैं और प्राइवेसी के लिए, राइट? और उसको कैसे मेंटेन किया जाता है? लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल फ्रॉम होम. वी आर गोइंग टू टेक एंड देन वी आर गोइंग टू हैव दिस. एवरीवन lock their home when they go out, right? Only the person who are the members of the home will have the key. Moreover, we'll go more specific. There are only 2 keys, one with your mom and second is with your father. Somehow, if you are elder one, you will have one same key with you. But those who are smaller, we didn't give them key, right? So one by one we are going. Even though the member who is smaller being a part of organization, but he don't have authentication and authorization to open that lock. Okay. And somehow, even though they were knowing, unknowing, people will not able to open it. But somehow, if you keep a same copy with your neighbor, they are going to open it. But the lock that you have put it on the तिजोरी, उसके जो नंबर्स है वो सिर्फ एक ही बंदे को पता होता है घर के, हु इज द एडमिन ऑफ दैट होम, राइट? आपके फादर, उन्हीं के पास वो जो आपके पास जो केस है या फिर आपके पास जो अलमीरा है उसके जो नंबर्स है, तिजोरी के नंबर्स, वो सिर्फ एक ही बंदे के पास होता है. इट्स ओनली विद योर फादर, इट्स नॉट विद योर मदर, इट्स नॉट विद योर एल्डर ब्रदर सिस्टर. सो ये क्यों ऐसा किया गया है? टू मेंटेन हाई सिक्योरिटी to the aspect that we're having. Similar to that, for any organization, the data is the key aspect because they are working on data only, and data they have to maintain in a manner that because their whole and soul business is working on that data. अगर आपको कुछ दिनों पहले याद होगा तो सैमसंग ने एप्पल के कुछ एप्स या फिर उसकी कॉपी कर लेते तो बहुत बड़ा सा ऐसा उनको जुर्माना पे करना पड़ता है बिकॉज दे हैव बीन हैक्ड सम ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन, दे हैव डिलीवर्ड इट टू द एंड यूजर विद द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट. So they cannot do it because they against the norms, copyrights. There is a concept of copyrights and norms, right? Even though in the digital era also, there is a concept of copyright, right? So to maintain a security, we have to design an umbrella in a manner that so no one can, even the members of the industry or same company even cannot access it. Only the person who is having the rights to access it, that we are going to give a authority to it. So he is the only person who is going to open that or use that database. Okay. So how the umbrella has been designed? The person who are new to the organization will have only one login and password. They have limited access. They even cannot use the server system. They do have a client machine with them, and they can communicate with the server, but they cannot open or access the server machine. Then on top of that, there is again an umbrella design. There will be an admin who is going to give authentication to the other users at what level they can access the data. Someone is a manager who can access the data for read, write, and edit. Someone who is a team leader who can read it. Someone who is a member of a team, he can just see the data. He neither edit the data, nothing. So in a manner that the delegation of authority is being done. डेलीगेशन यू अंडरस्टैंड, मतलब आपका जो पूरा अम्ब्रेला है इस तरीके से डिजाइन किया जाता है कि जिसको जितना परमिशन देना चाहिए उतना ही परमिशन दे, उससे वो सिक्योरिटी मेंटेन होता है. तो ये कैसे होगा? तो ये सारे एस्पेक्ट्स है उसके लिए. कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी अगर मेंटेन करना है तो आपको क्या करना होगा? जो क्रेडेंशियल्स है वो लिमिटेड लोगों के पास ही देना है. क्रेडेंशियल्स इन द सेंस, अगर एग्जांपल के, तो आपका कितना भी अच्छा फ्रेंड हो, आप उसको आपका एटीएम का पिन कभी नहीं बोलते हो, नहीं बोलते हैं, राइट? ये कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी मेंटेन करना. नेक्स्ट यू आर गोइंग टू हैव ऑथेंटिकेशन. बिफोर एनी ट्रांजैक्शन इज बीन डन, देयर विल बी एवरी टाइम देयर विल बी सम वेरिफिकेशन. लाइक जब भी आप ऑनलाइन ट्रांजैक्शन करते हो तो आपका सीवीवी डालते हो, आपका कार्ड नंबर डालते हो, फिर भी एक ओटीपी आता है. वन मोर टाइम वेरिफिकेशन इज गोइंग टू बी डन. सो ऑथेंटिकेशन होता है यहाँ पे कि वो यूजर वैलिड है या नहीं, उसने सेम चीज यूज किया है या नहीं, वो जो ओटीपी आ रहा है वो वैलिड है. समहाउ ऑन अ गूगल देयर आर टू काइंड्स ऑफ ऑथेंटिकेशन. आपका एक मेल पे भी वेरिफिकेशन आता है, फोन नंबर पे भी वेरिफिकेशन आता है. इट शुड मैच विद बोथ थिंग्स. इवन दो योर मोबाइल इज बीन स्टोल्ड, और किसी ने ले लिया आपका मोबाइल, उसने वो नंबर भी डाल दिया, बट ही कैन नॉट एक्सेस टू योर जीमेल. दैट इज अ टॉप मोस्ट सिक्योरिटी इज गिवन बाय द गूगल फॉर द डेटा सिक्योरिटी ओनली, राइट? So that is the authentication aspect to maintain the security. Authorization, that means the chain has been designed in a manner that everyone will get somehow limited access to the data. One who is admin, who are having the privileges to assign the roles and responsibility to other users. What are the roles and responsibility? अगर मैनेजर तो रीड राइट अपडेट परमिशन देगा, अगर कोई सीधा टीम लीडर है तो उसको सिर्फ एडिट का परमिशन देगा, अगर सारे टीम मेंबर्स है तो उसको रीड का परमिशन, नथिंग, ही कैन नॉट चेंज इनटू द एग्जिस्टिंग पार्ट, सो दैट इट मेंटेन्स द सिक्योरिटी, राइट? अवेलेबिलिटी इज अगेन द सेम थिंग. कितना आप डेटा को अवेलेबल करके देते हो एंड यूजर को. End user can only view the data, he cannot make modification into it. For example, अगर देखा होगा कि आपका जब आधार एनरोल हो रहा होता है तो बहुत सारे इंफॉर्मेशन लेते हो आपसे, बट आपकी खुद की इंफॉर्मेशन आपको ज्यादा पता नहीं होती है. जब वो आधार प्रिंट होके आता है, यू ओनली हैव दैट आईडी नंबर, यू इवन डोंट नो, दे डोंट गिव यू मोर ओवर सिक्योरिटी इंफॉर्मेशन टू द यू ऑल्सो. पता है ना सब लोगों को, देखा है सब लोगों ने, राइट? सो दैट मीन्स दे मेक sure that how much data should be available to the end user. So the reason behind is that knowingly unknowingly we tell the information, we maintain that much integrity हम लोग उतना maintain नहीं कर पाते, knowingly unknowingly बता देते हैं, but it harms to your system, so that should not be done. Even though companies में अगर देखा जाए, आपको लैपटॉप मिलता है, बहुत सारे आपके फ्रेंड्स रहेंगे, आपको लैपटॉप मिलता है, वो लैपटॉप पे आप काम करते हो, बट देयर इज अ सिस्टम मशीन, वहां पे वो जाके स्टोर होता है, वो डायरेक्टली कभी भी उस सर्वर पे जाके स्टोर नहीं होता है. यू हैव वर्किंग फॉर 10 years, देन ऑल्सो यू नॉट गेट डायरेक्ट एक्सेस टू दैट सर्वर मशीन. नो, दे डोंट बिलीव ऑन यू, इवन दो यू आर अ होली सोली एम्प्लॉय ऑफ दैट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. नो, बिकॉज दे वर रनिंग अ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑन दैट डेटा ओनली. उतना डेटा आपको अवेलेबल होता ही नहीं. Even you can ask your friend who is working in the IT industry, they are going to design everyday code, but what exactly is going to be made, they don't know. क्या बन रहा है उससे किसी को पता नहीं होता. They are working in a fashion that they know only small tasks, we are doing this, that, but what exactly the product is, no one knows. Only the higher authority who knows. That means the data is been hidden in a manner that means they were available in a manner that only few part of information is known to that end user or programmer. तो ये उसका अवेलेबिलिटी कॉन्सेप्ट है. और ट्रांजैक्शंस जब बोल रहे हो, आपकी रास वाला पॉइंट जो आप बोल रहे थे कि अगर किसी ने डेटा में अगर चेंजेस किए हैं, वेरिफिकेशन किए, ही कुड नॉट डिनाई बिकॉज he is having the permission and he is having the authentication, verification, authorization to use that. He cannot deny out of it. He has made the changes that is been visible to everyone who were there in the chain. So in this fashion we are going to maintain the security. Clear? Clear to everyone? बहुत easy, बहुत सबको पता है, सिर्फ आपको नाम टर्म्स थोड़े अलग है. Usability is the next test. Who is going to read? Till the time I'll take attendance. बहुत इजी है, फर्स्ट चैप्टर खत्म हो जाएगा. Akudi students, those who are attending online, they can put it into the chat box. I'll collect it from there. Akudi students can put first. Akudi students number सांगा. 17 हाँ 69 78 बापरे मला वाटलं मला नंबरिंगच येत नाही काय की 1770 4444 हाँ 70 78 yes done 69 okay. Yes, Pimpri students. 230. Next. Next. 164. मागे नहीं.
मॅम लिव करायचं आहे का?
नाही करायचं, 2 मिनिटं. We are going to finish this usability one and then we are going to finish. Okay, just a moment. What's the time in the clock? We do have 10 minutes more, right? 10 more minutes we have. Time is up. Okay, fine. Those who have put at their roll numbers, they can leave the meeting. In tomorrow's session, we are going to finish up this chapter. 200.